Hello all, we are back here in the new year 2024 after the holiday season break. It was an interesting end to Q4 last year. Didn't get everything right. Not everything played out how I expected. Some things did play out on the lower time frames, but macro wise, kind of took a different direction. So sometimes good to have a break, especially when you kind of feel that the markets are kind of peaking where they are, slowing down, probably going to go sideways for a few weeks, and that's pretty broadly happened across the board. Some stocks kind of pulling back off that sort of end of December euphoria now. Not really surprised by that. But yeah, crypto, I still, as I mentioned a lot on X, if you're following us, that, I still thought a lot of altcoins still had runs to the upside, which they managed. I also thought that some would cool off, which they have. I'm not going to take a look at a lot of altcoins here. I'm going to probably do that more in a video that I want to focus on tomorrow. But today, just coming back into the new year, want to keep things really simple and have a fresh assessment of where I think we are at now. So chart on Bitcoin, guys, I thought that we'd have some kind of distribution pattern that would have played out a bit quicker than it did. It didn't, because I was kind of expecting more ETF news to have happened back end of last year. That has just been delayed and dragged on, and is still being dragged on right now. So that has taken longer than I expected. So keeping things simple, where did the sort of, the last major rally, this, strong leg up that we had? Well, I've got it labeled on there, the SEC, fear bear trap. We had that dump, we had that sort of key break that came from when Gensler started listing a lot of altcoins in particular as securities, and there was more of a wider fear in the market that regulation was going to hit the market harder. So I think a lot of people decided to sell there, either sell at a loss or maybe take some of their profits a bit early if they did get in on the lows, certainly on Bitcoin, or it was a good opportunity actually to potentially mark a sort of local bottom. At least it may be the lasting bottom on high time frame. Only time will tell, but it'll certainly mark the local bottom on a lot of altcoins that hit those lows in the summer. A lot of prices would have got extremely juicy on a lot of those altcoins. Again, we'll probably look at more of those tomorrow. Now, where are we at now? I think we are round about that sort of peak ETF hype that I've got labeled up here. We got back above the ascending trend line, and we're holding it as support for now. We did have a wick out of it again this week, but we're sort of looks like, unless something shocking happens tomorrow, which I doubt will, it looks like we are still going to manage to close above. But I still think we are in an obvious area of resistance. I think everyone understands that, and I've got support marked in that sort of 30 to 31 k range. So going back, I still expect that 31k retest that I put in all the videos. Nothing has changed there. I need to see like major sort of consolidation above 50 towards 60k before I even thought that we were going back to that area. So whether we go to 50k now, it's not a trade that I'm interested in, short or long. I think that it really could go either way. It's so hard to determine what will happen if some actual ETF news finally arrives that we'll keep getting told. Apparently, even this week, we've been getting told every day, oh, ETF's going to get approved today or rejected today or whatever. I just try and ignore it because I'll be honest, guys, I don't know about you, but it bores me a little bit. It really does. I'd rather just, wait and see and stay patient and stay calm and stay emotionless. I don't get excited about that every day, but some people love, engagement farming on those kind of things. So good luck to them. But either way, whenever it comes, I still think, whether it goes higher or lower, straight down, I think that support area will be retested at some stage. And that could be, the opportunity for those who truly believe that the market bottom is in, and potentially to, get a good, buy the dip opportunity. But being aware that I still think, for those DCAs out there who know all about this, is that you're very unlikely to maybe, buy a bottom. Hopefully you do, which would be fantastic. But if you don't, you may have to continue to dollar cost average down. Now, looking at the, total market cap, again, Still got it labeled that January 2018 looks like the support, potential bottom in the market. Great. Because I did say, if we got above 1.35 trillion, which we have, it increases, not guarantees, but it increases the chance of the crypto market bottom being in. However, just be aware that obviously if things turn economically bad this year, I do not think crypto is immune. If we get a sell-off on major markets, I do not think crypto is immune, and there is the opportunity to go lower. So if this is just a free wave correction, then of course the potential bottom may not be in. But if it is, we can still maybe just move three waves up, three waves down, which sets a higher low, and then back up we go. So I still think that is potentially playing out. I'm not convinced yet. That this is a major impulsive move in the crypto market. We'd probably be looking to sort of take out around about 2.2.5 trillion. We're currently at 1.6. If we kind of got up there, then things would look a lot more bullish. But right now, if it's just three waves up, I think, and you can kind of see on some of these weekly candles, we just zoom in and take a look at this. You can see again, we've got a bit of indecision. So I think potentially things could be cooling off a bit here, and I am expecting a correction. Now, if 1.4 trillion is lost, I'm actually expecting things to go deeper. That potentially would be a good sign to me that this free waves, let's just put that back, that this free waves is kind of finished here, and then we're sort of looking for a correction down, which would probably go deeper. And I think this 1 trillion is what you would be potentially looking to be retested, hold the support, confirms the bottom in down here back early last year, and then off we go. So that would be great news. And again, that is a potential area where you may consider getting into the market if you are sidelined and want to get in. But right now, do I think it's a good time to buy? Personally, I don't. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice. You have to make your own decisions, and good luck to anyone who gets in the market. And I always say, take profits, realize gains, because the worst is when you have those gains, you don't take profits, and in crypto they get taken away easier in crypto than the vast majority of other markets. We all know about that, who've certainly been in the space for some time now. Bitcoin dominance, I still think that this is a chart of interest. I still think this is going to, continue to develop, and it still remains bullish until proven otherwise. To me, going back last week, we had a potential, fake out where it looked like it may lose this ascending channel, but that quickly rebounded. And again, we've had a strong week. We've had a 3.5% at the moment gain on Bitcoin dominance, as some altcoins are starting to exhaust. You can clearly see that some profits are being taken, as some people may be thinking that it is going to be a sell the news event on the ETF, whether that drops or not. So maybe if some people are getting a little bit jitterish, it could just be that there's been some good gains across the board on many altcoins. Many have done 3, 4, 5 x, and then of course there's the select few which have done a lot more. So that is going to affect the market, whilst Bitcoin just hovers in that area in the mid 40Ks, not really going either way between 40 or 45. It's just holding, it's just waiting. So yeah, profits being taken on the altcoins has made this move, not so much Bitcoin price going up. But yeah, holding support, got back above that 52. What is going to be key for me to see if this chart is really going to go higher? We have to, of course, set a new high within this channel, which will come in above 55%. Take that out, I think we are still on our journey up to these sort of targets of 57 to 60. So initially, I thought that when we would get up here, we would be potentially looking at sort of new bear market lows across the board in terms of the total market cap, wider market, even on the the Bitcoin price itself. And of course, that can still happen, but admittedly, it does look less likely at the moment. Not guaranteed it won't happen. It just looks less likely. But as this continues to climb, I think that if the bottom is on some altcoins as well, we're still going to see that healthy retracement where people can potentially start to buy in if they so wish. Now, DXY, I still think is a warning for macro markets because it doesn't look greatly bearish yet. Could we just get a dead cat bounce here, set a lower high, and it's just continuing a downtrend? Yes, but either way, I just want to talk about, forget the macro at the minute. It's still a very hard prediction long term, although it still remains looking bullish to me. It still looks like we've potentially set a new higher low here around about 100, but getting to that 100 at low time frame, that's all I'm focusing on the moment. I think we're going to see a few bullish weeks here. Again, put that on X. Decent week on the DXY up 1%. I think I'm expecting a few green weeks here. Also, it's mostly based against other currencies. Pretty bearish on euro and pound against the dollar for the coming weeks. Also, Japanese yen, etc. So dollar looking strong for the next few weeks. That may lead to a pullback. We've continued to see the Dow Jones again, climb, set that new all-time high. Just had its first red week for quite a while. I would expect that to continue to downside. So markets may be pulling back. If the ETF news comes out on Bitcoin, maybe we get a wick to the upside, and then that starts to roll over again, or rather pull back at least to sort of that area where I'm expecting support to be found with macro markets. So a lot of people are maybe expecting the NASDAQ set an all-time high. The Dow Jones has. Everyone's thinking, well, surely the S&P 500's next. It's not quite there yet. I'm not going to look at that chart. We'll maybe take a look at that one tomorrow. But either way, it may not get there, or whether it does, at least if all three are there, or if it doesn't get there, I think those index markets are going to continue to the downside in Q1, which would be a healthy correction even in the bullish case. So Ethereum, not a lot has changed. I haven't changed this chart the last video, I think, or last few videos before the holidays break. Haven't changed this at all. I'm still looking at this, potential long-term correction, which has potentially topped here. Again, we're seeing candles of indecision now. Normally, when we see this, they don't usually break to the upside after a move up. They usually start to reverse, take a while, go sideways for a bit, and head down. So that's what I'm expecting to happen on Ethereum here. But invalidation, again, left it. If we consolidate above 2,400, I know we've gone up there again in the last couple of weeks, but it's just wicks and then it's getting sold. So it's clearly a major resistance area at the minute on ETH. Need to see consolidation before we can potentially look at this a bit different. Now, started the video talking about keeping things simple. Sometimes it really is this simple. Take a more in-depth look at this tomorrow, have a look at some more altcoins, but I just wanted to point out NIA here, for example, and how we can assess, is there easy money potentially? Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but easier money to be made in altcoins, and how things can be played and how things you can look at, because there's still plenty of charts that are gearing up like this. But I think NIA is a good example here. This was one that I called out on X that I thought would go higher, which it did. But now, is it potentially the time to be taking profits? So clear downtrend continuing all the way. Again, you can just put a line, on these sort of candles here to, continue the downtrend. But once that is broken here, of course, you could buy down the bottom here, down at $1. But there's always the risk. And, again, well done to, anybody who took that risk and got in there, fantastic. But of course, there's still the risk that you don't know, are you going to go down to 50 cents or lower? It can just keep falling, which of course you would lose 50% on your initial buy. And, whether you just keep dollar cost averaging down, that's one strategy. But, some people like to just go in at one price. And for those people who like to just go in at one price, personally, I think it's better to, again, just keep it simple. Look at how this downtrend is broken. You've had the weekly candle here, which wicked down and quickly bounced out. That gives you kind of confirmation. This was around about $1.40, and potentially that was a good time to just one price. You say you want to put so much of your stable coins or capital into NEAR, for example, and then you got in. And even getting in on that price, depending on where you're selling, you were looking at still from there a sort of 2 to 3x. It was 4x again if you gamble down the bottom here. Fantastic. But what I'll say is now, I still personally thought that NEAR could kind of get higher and take out these candles and do something maybe like a Rune has, for instance, and that again can definitely happen. It can go to $7. Maybe you're just a hodler who wants to see new all-time highs on NEAR, etc., and keep going. But that is the gamble and decision you have to make. But what I will say is that, again, just keeping things simple. If you're just happy to make money, rotate capital, keep rotating around these altcoins, wait patiently for opportunities, and just continue to build that stablecoin, build that cash, etc. If you can just be satisfied with doing 2 to 4x, on a what you deem as maybe a safer play, you can look at these candles. You can see that we've got a couple of wicks to the upside. Again, we're seeing that indecision. We've got a doji candle. Maybe if you haven't already, it's time to consider potentially taking profit. So if you got in at this, around about 346, if you got in around about 140, now you're looking at about a 2.5 x from there. If you waited a bit higher and maybe you managed to get out one of these wicks at $4, again, you're looking at around about 3x. So point being, you can just keep it, really simple on those charts. Wait for, signs of downtrends being broken. Wait for that confirmation and look to get in. And there's plenty of charts that may be potentially lining up like that. Some people will just not be interested in taking profits. They've bought in. They're already sat 100, 200, 300%, maybe more percent up. And I don't want to see anyone lose those gains. I really hope the market keeps going. But what I will say is that time and time again, we know that these markets do not go up or down in straight lines, and gains can be taken away so very, very easily. So always take profits. That's just my opinion. Again, it's not financial advice. You have to make your own decision. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow taking a look at some more altcoins. Hopefully Savage will be continuing to get better and be back soon with the technical analysis that I know a lot of you are missing greatly. Appreciate you watching. See you again.